Okay, welcome back to the 107. No news. Yeah, my garlic plant is growing quite well. I might have to move him. He's taller than the shelf I put him on. I should look up how quickly I can start cutting him, but I don't want to cut him too quickly or else he might go, oh, can't grow, because plants will just be like, oh, can't grow here, so I won't. Ooh, and I also streamed for the first time yesterday in like a month, so I really want to do that again. That would be super dope, but I couldn't do that today because I have allergies. So I guess I'm watching this. Very hunched over. Yeah, I am very glad I waited because Cyberpunk actually loaded, which is fantastic because I was so mad. But it's actually loading and stuff, so I think I can stream it because that's why I bought it. But yeah, so I actually could play a little bit of it without it completely crashing or it's not working. Yeah. So sorry to sniffle. I freaking get so annoyed. Sometimes I just don't notice when I'm watching Ethan, and Ethan is just sniffling this whole time, and I'm just like, just stop. But then I realize he's doing it because they just played in a bunch of hay, so of course they're sniffling. I hate how watching this makes it like so much in my head because I was talking to someone, my sibling earlier, and they said something, and I'm just like, and it just relayed back to this video, and I'm just like, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. What machine is making that noise? It stopped, so. Yeah, sometimes their vents make a really high pitched noise, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, why? Why? So annoying. Like, I can't stand it. Oh, I have a dentist appointment though. First time in 5 years to go to the dentist. I'm really annoyed by that because I know I don't have the best track record with it, and I'm old enough that I could go by myself now. But the problem is I need someone to help me because I've got my wisdom teeth ripped. So I'm like, hey guys, can you just help me do this? And it's been 5 years. Yeah. And before that, it was 10 years. So it's just one of those things that just, it bothers me so much, and I really emphasized if the school system didn't force my mom to bring me to the doctors, would she have? I mean, to be fair, I haven't been to the doctors because of the pandemic, so can't really say anything on that. yeah, so I watched one more episode of Sabrina season 3, episode 4, I think it was. Not as bad as the others, maybe, I don't know. But oh, golly, gosh, is it not good on so many levels. That being said, I actually want to talk about The Witcher. Not the TV show. Not the TV show, well, maybe a lot I complain about the TV show too, but the book. And I'm reading, or I read, about halfway, 3/4 of the way. Halfway to 3/5 of the way through the book. And we met Dandelion and stuff. But it's so annoying because the story isn't bad. The actual physical story isn't bad. But when it comes to everything else like around it, it's so bad. And it bothers me because the core story, I like it. It's very fun. I want to read about it. This earth, you know, this world this person made. However, especially at the beginning, the first couple chapters, just thinking about it gets to me. That anti-Semitism with the descriptions of people, especially women, is just ridiculous. Where they will just be called ugly and not beautiful, ugly, and people wouldn't actually or typically like this girl, but this person does, or not attractive. And I'm like, you described a Jewish woman. Okay, I believe it. I'm not perfect in details of all different things, but to my knowledge, is anti-Semitism. It might be something else. I don't know. Maybe. To be fair, not actually to be fair, pointing out that it was written in the 80s. I was going to say the 1980s. Like, yeah, 1980s. I mean, it's true, but don't have to specify it. 1980s in, I don't know what country. I don't remember. Not English. Written in English, so this is all translated. So I want to point that out for my next point, which is the use of the word girl. It's disgusting. It is. It really is. So what happens is that in the case of multiple characters, they're described as girls or young ladies, but I don't know what age he's trying to write it as, and if it's translated weirdly, because what happened is with the Strega, they kept saying girl and like making them younger, like making this character younger seeming, because mentally she's gonna be a 3-year-old, but physically she's gonna be 14, because she was turned into a beast for those years. So she won't be able, they might never be able to fully mentally develop. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's interesting. But the problem is when she turned back human, the description was that she was curly haired, small, naked, wide set breasts that were ugly, or no, pointy breasts that were ugly. I don't remember. It was a few months ago when I read that. Yeah. She's 14. Don't describe her breasts. Definitely don't describe how how they sit. If you want to be like, she was naked, you can do it in a way that doesn't feel super duper gross. Like, why are you bringing up how her breasts sat and they were pointy and triangle or something? Why? It's so gross. Don't do it. She's 14. And The Witcher was 100? I think that's, at one point they said that he's like 100. The book takes place in different times, so it kind of wavers, but roughly 100. So, and that wasn't Geralt. I don't know if that's supposed to be Geralt or if that's supposed to be just the narrator. Like, oh, if you look over here, wow, she got some pointy boobs. Gross. She's 14, got some pointy boobs. I can't tell because sometimes I think it's in Geralt's head, but sometimes it's not. So I don't know. I don't know. If you the reader is supposed to think it, but Geralt isn't, or is it both? You're supposed to think it and Geralt think it, or you're not supposed to think that, but this is how Geralt sees the world. I don't know. I don't know what Ethan is saying when he says you gotta let it linger. I don't know what he's referencing. I'm just saying. Anyways, so moving on. There's another moment where it's like Beauty and the Beast. This guy loves taking Disney stories and making them edgy. I don't know if that's OG dude that does. No, because the Grimm brothers are right there. But this is post-Disney timeline. Like, this is 80s. So Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, others, they already were out. And he took those stories and changed it. But this one's kind of Beauty and the Beast-esque, where he does something bad. I'm not going to say what or anything about it because I don't want to deal with that right now. I'll come back to it. It's one of my third peeves right now. What happens is that this one is, again, they just describe it. No matter what, they describe these people, and it kind of overlaps everything. Where in the case of the person he's in love with, she was described as a young, pale girl. I don't know how old that means she is. So, but spoilies, spoiler alert, I don't, Witcher. She's actually a monster. And she's like a vampire-esque being. And I think she's using him, question mark? I don't know. But what happened is she loves him. No, he loves her. He killed her. And instead of saying she got stabbed, like I think here, or sliced here, cut right here, they were like on her white, beautiful, it's supposed to be like dainty, and pure white, like pure white outfit. She got cut right above the breast. I'm like, really? Not on her shoulder, not on her, like, it has to be like right above her breast. And you're like, okay, so there's worse. This is just one example, and especially since she was described as a girl. Don't know how old that's supposed to be. Girl. Anyways, so what happened is, then when she got stabbed in between the breast, which again, I think they describe a little bit of like what they looked like. I don't know, and it's just so annoying. And then one time the narrator, not Geralt, but like the narrator was describing a scene. All the guys in the scene sure weren't great depictions of people, but they were like drinking, doing stuff. They were fishermen, they were like salesmen, they were like shop owners, stuff like that. But all the women were servers that were getting their butt pinched, and they were getting mad, I'm pretty sure. But they were getting their butt pinched, they were getting gawked at, they were prostitutes. I am pro-sex worker, do not get me wrong. However, and it goes with all the rest of the story, is really, really irritating that this is repetitive. Every single time you meet, I think, a woman character, she gets her breast or body described in one way, shape, or form, especially breast. I don't know if we ever met a woman that didn't have her breasts described. Maybe one. To be fair, one of them just smeared her boob onto Geralt's face to like seduce him when he was sleeping or pretending to sleep. It was really odd because I was just like, hold on, like, why are you doing that? Not the point. Point is, he, like, the author describing these things is so weird and so gross, but then trigger warning, rape mention, sexual assault mention, very quick, or actually probably to the end of this video, so fair warning, please, fair warning. So what happens is that if they want to have a traumatic backstory for a woman or a girl or anything, the worst thing that could be happening, not even the worst, it's just, it's not, I think they're trying to make it the worst thing that could happen, but they're not setting it up that way because every single character, woman character, dealt with this. Renfrey dealt with it, and then like the woman that Geralt, like the girl that Geralt tried to save, and she was ungrateful when he first became a Witcher, tried to save her, and she was like 13. She was raped. Like, every woman was raped or sexually assaulted in one way, shape, or form if they're trying to get a backstory for them. And it's, or even just manipulated to like the person, but it's so gross to me that that's what you think, or the only way you can write. It's just bad writing. Like, that is how you make a woman character been through something, but then at the same time you're like, oh well, if it's supposed to be really bad, consequences, right? No, because Renfrey is supposed to be painted as this monster, and she goes, I was raped, I literally stabbed him to try to get away. Girl, you should have done worse. Burn him alive. I don't fucking care. He freaking was, to be fair, he was going to also lock her up, which would have been like, she killed him to escape getting locked up for life. That is an argument that I'm like, should she have done that? Yeah, it'll probably still screw him. But the fact that it's like, oh, she was 12, 14, young, and he was dead in the book, described with his pants down and the pin shoved in his eye, temple, ear area. Yeah, she should have done it. She should have done it again. She would, you wouldn't even recognize his face if I did that. No, that's not an argument if she's a monster or not. She was scared and getting hurt. I see nothing wrong. That being said, you're like, okay, well, if it's supposed to be a horrible thing, punishment then ensues. By the way, the video is over for a while. What happened is, no, because the Beauty and the Beast, like I mentioned, what he did was rape someone when he was 14. But he's being like, oh, well, I matured. I figured it out. I never did that again. Oh, but I fell in love. Oh, if I could go back again, I would try to win the friendship or respect of these people in a different way. I'm like, yeah, okay. And for him, he's a child, a naive boy, boys being boys. But when Renfrey does something less horrible, actually the lesser evil, like it's supposed to be a debate of morals here. No, Renfrey in that point was correct. Everything she's been through since then, where it mentioned being pro-sex worker, she was forced into prostitution by people. She was forced into it, and she was forced into it because no one was helping her survive. She needed money. That isn't... People should never be forced into doing any work, like sex work, especially selling their body. But that also includes, like, hurting yourself, like breaking your back in a warehouse. You shouldn't have to sell your body for anything or anyone, or food or anything. So selling your body for sex is the same thing. She should never have to do that to survive. So now her being this horrible person, yeah, now this one particular event, what do? You either kill the wizard, or you kill Rumfrey, who's planning to either kill the wizard if he comes out of hiding, or kill a bunch of civilians until he gets out of hiding. Okay, yeah. Should Rumfrey kill a bunch of civilians just to get to the wizard? No. To be fair, he's mentioned he couldn't live in there forever. He wants to leave. So honestly, if he just camped out there enough, he would have eventually left. He was already getting stir crazy. But I just like the fact that one is depicted as like a kid, kids being kids, boys being boys, versus Renfrey. It's like, and this happened again, so many characters, so many different things. Dandelion gets introduced by saying it was a sin not to pinch her in the butt. And they talk about virgins, too much. They talk about, again, young girls, like, sexually